Hello. Welcome to the first part of The Odds Are in My Favor. At the beginning of this part, we see that Bai Wu tells, "Damn it, the landlord just kicked me out and also changed the locks. Forced me into becoming a homeless guy just because I can't pay the rent, huh?" He is Bai Wu, B-list author, famous for The Bombed, Raising Slimes from Today Onward. He tells, "My newest book bombed. It looks like I won't get paid anytime soon. How long can I survive on this? Do I have to wash dishes for me to live now?" He says, "I'm at rock bottom right now. Might as well try my luck on the lottery. Boss won 5 yuan scratch ticket and leave it to fate." Shop owner put a bunch of scratch tickets in front of him and asked, "Which one do you want?" He replies, "Just trying my luck, and one works." He is surprised to see something. He rubs the eyes. He sees the success rate. He is really surprised and thinks, "What? Did I overworked last night? And now I'm seeing things? What in the world is this? Am I the only one seeing this? Is this an illusion?" He tries to touch the 100% above the ticket, but his hand goes through. Shop owner is getting angry. Wu thinks, "Should I try one?" He scratched the ticket and won 10 yuan. He thinks, "What if?" But he puts his hand on the 100% tickets. He says, "Boss, I want to buy 2 more, and I want these too." He scratches the ticket. He wins 5 yuan and 50 yuan. He thinks, "Is this for real? Could it be that the numbers on the tickets are the success rates?" He gets excited and says, "Boss, give me 11 more." He buys 1 0% ticket and 10 100% tickets. He thinks, "These 10 100% are guaranteed wins. Let's try this 0% one." He loses. He is really surprised and thinks, "Can I actually see the success rates?" Owner says, "Hey kid, gambling is never a good thing. Learn to control yourself." He says, "Boss, gimme 10 20 yuan tickets and 1 10 yuan ticket." Owner looks happy and tells him, "You sure you want to buy them, kid? Don't waste your last 200 yuan like that." After that, we see 10 minutes later. He receives 20,240 yuan in his Alipay account. Owner is feeling bad and thinks, "What sort of luck is this?" He thinks, first of all, the numbers represent the success rate of the lottery, but the amount won is unknown. He talks to himself, "It would be nice to know the lottery winnings. For example, the chance of winning 100 yuan or some other amount." Owner says, "Dream on, no one is that lucky." He realizes something. He asks, "Boss, give me some more of these always winning scratch tickets." The number on the tickets change. He gives an evil smile. Owner says, "Hey kid, you better stop now. With something like luck would never tell." Wu smiles and tells the owner, "It's okay. I feel lucky today. If I don't win, then I'll just treat this as charity donations." Owner is nervous and angry at the same time. He thinks, "So you don't care about 100 yuan after winning 20,000? Let's see if your luck runs out." He wins something and tells, "Seems like my luck is still by my side." Owner is really surprised and thinks, 6 wins in a row? How could he be so lucky? It seems like I'm lucky today. Another win again. He keeps on winning. He looks at the other tickets. He thinks, "If only I know the chances of getting 50 yuan. Percentage changes on the tickets." He smiles and thinks, "I knew it. The probabilities that show up are based on my questions. If I can reframe my questions and use the probabilities correctly, I can completely fool the shop owner and change my fate." He tells the shopkeeper, "It looks like I'm lucky today." Shopkeeper says, "You think your luck will last forever. Your life is like a piece of jade." He smiles and thinks, "I have an artifact in my hands. It is not a life like a jade." He says, "It's just because I'm lucky today, boss. Can you give me 20 more? That's all." Shopkeeper says, "Kid, that's just luck. Don't let it make you addicted." Wu says, "It's okay. I'm lucky today. Who knows if I'll win the 20 lotteries? Besides, I got 20,000 yuan today." Wu is about to scratch the ticket. Shop puts his hand on his own chest. He is really nervous. Wu wins nothing this time. Shopkeeper says, "Kid, let me tell you, luck comes and goes. It can't be relied on." He loses some more, but he smiles and thinks, luck can't be relied on. But he loses a lot. He looked nervous. Shopkeeper is happy and told him, "I already told you. You didn't believe me. I think you used up all your luck before, and so you got unlucky. I hope you will still be lucky this year." He got all the 0% tickets, but there is one with the 30,000%. He thinks, but you didn't know that I relied on power, not luck? Just now I bought the ones with 1% chance of. I did it on purpose so he won't get suspicious. He buys 20 more. Shopkeeper tells Wu, okay kid, I'll give back 100 yuan of your money, and the rest is good. Your luck now is 1 out of 10. Wu tells the shopkeeper no, thank you for your kindness, but I don't believe it. He thinks, it's time to turn things around. Shopkeeper says to Wu, just forget it. He wins 10 yuans. Shopkeeper is surprised. He thinks, that's just 10 yuan. I was shocked and I thought it was 10,000 yuan. He starts to win again. He says, why is it all 10 yuan? The highest was 100 and that's a small amount too. Shopkeeper thinks, is this kid a devil? Wu starts to pray saying, spirits of sky and earth help me. Let's hope I'll win a big prize. Shopkeeper smiles and tells Wu, do you know the chance to get millions of yuan? Your luck is still lacking. Wu tells the shopkeeper I got 15,000 yuan. My luck is really bad. He is really surprised and says, what? He received 15,000 yuan in his account. He asked the shopkeeper, what did you just say? My luck is. Shopkeeper says nothing. He realizes something and says, no way. He sees the tickets and thinks, the chance of winning was already set at the factory, and that kid won many times. Does that mean the chance of winning left is going to go down? Shopkeeper says to Wu, kid, you're so lucky today. Why did you stop? Shopkeeper thinks people will buy these, and the winning chances are low. What will happen to my business? He thinks, what are the winning chances at the lotteries left in those racks? It is only 5%. Wu says to shopkeeper, no boss, I think it's time to stop. I think my luck will go down after the wins. He thinks the chances of winning is from 30% and decrease to 5%. Shopkeeper says to Wu, kid, you already got 35,000 and up. Why don't you try again? He replies to the shopkeeper, if I even lose 100 or 200 yuan, it's still money, boss. We must be more diligent and thrifty. Shopkeeper thinks, you just say that now. Boss, I know you are kind, but I feel satisfied. He thinks I can make a good profit this time. But for my power, can it be used for things instead of just a lottery? I don't know. How much are the chances of opening this door? Chances of opening the door starts to going down. He is really surprised. He thinks, wait, what's this? He gets back. Shopkeeper is confused. A dog comes running through the door. He thinks, I avoided a dog. That dog was annoying. I almost got hit. I have to go quickly. Shopkeeper thinks, wait, how did he know if he had to avoid it? Is he a god? Shopkeeper grabs him by the arm and says, you, don't leave. Wu thinks, shit, is he suspicious? He asks, young man, how did you know? Wu thinks, sure enough, what I did back there was a bit too strange. I'm a fortune teller myself. What are the success rates in fooling shop owners? 50%. What about a fortune teller who has been in my ancestral lineage? 64%. Barely enough to fool him. He tells him, boss, actually I'm a fortune teller. Don't compare us to crooks under the bridge. We're from the Zhou dynasty. We've been around for 2,000 to 3,000 years. Shopkeeper thinks it's bullshit. Young man, I'm a firm believer in science. I don't believe in ghosts. Besides, if your family's been around for 2,000 to 3,000 years, it should be famous. Why, I've never heard of it. Wu thinks, above your head. That frame, it's metaphysics, not science. Wu tells him, it's been in my family since ancient times. They never took part in the change of dynasties, so their reputation wasn't high. Shopkeeper is astonished to hear that. Wu thinks the success rate is increasing. Game on. He points toward the lotteries and says, shop owner, you've already seen my fortune-telling skills. Success rate increases to 80%. Shopkeeper says, what? Don't tell me. Wu tells the shopkeeper, that's right. I've just figured out my fortune, and I've won the lottery, so I decided to stop because the heavens have turned against me. Wu tells him, the 10 that didn't win were on omens. Shopkeeper says, I see. No wonder you have such luck. Winning 20,000 on scratch lotteries like that. He tells him, I had a bad feeling when I walked out of here, so I did a quick fortune telling and found out I could be killed. That's why I ran back. Shopkeeper asks, young man, no, master, how much for your services? I need you to divine something. Wu thinks this is a good chance to test my skills. He says, no need for payment. Our skills are highly tied to karma and retribution. So my streak just now will affect your business in the future. There is a price for everything. Tell me, boss, what do you want me to do? Shopkeeper says, I would like you to see my financial future. My old home is getting demolished soon, but we haven't discussed compensation. Can you tell me, what is the maximum amount they will agree to? Wu asks, what is an ideal price for you? He tells Wu, it's a 200 to 300 square meter house. 1 square meter would be around 10,000. He says, I got it. He thinks, what are the odds that they would pay 2 or 3 million as compensation for the shopkeeper? It's 100%. He is surprised and thinks, what about 4 million? It is also 100%. Then what about 5 million? It's just 10%. Then what about 4.5 million? Shopkeeper asks, Master, have you got it? He tells him, Shopkeeper, if you asked for 4.3 million, they won't hesitate to take it. If you asked for 4.5 million, there is an 80% chance they will take it. For 4.8 million, there will only be a 50% chance. Shopkeeper is really surprised and says, 4 million? So much. Master, are your calculations correct? Wu says, if you don't believe me, you can call them right now and try. Wu thinks, now is a good time to test the power of my Midas touch. Shopkeeper calls them. 1 minute later, they actually agreed. Unbelievable. Shopkeeper is really surprised and tell Wu, they actually agreed. Unbelievable. Master, you are a true master of divination, karma and retribution. This is one hell of a karma you gave me, master. What about this? Let me give you 300,000 as compensations. Wu says, well, you see. He receives 300,000 yuan and tells him, oh my, you shouldn't have. He is really happy in his head and thinks, 300,000 just like that. Awesome. I just cracked the code of life with this. He tells him, no problem. He leaves the shop. While leaving, he thinks, this is too good. As long as I use this gold mine properly, I can definitely climb up to the top of the world. The dog is laying outside that broke into the shop earlier. Wu sees it and thinks, what is this stupid dog still doing here? Looks like a purebred. Has someone lost it? A 100% appears above the dog. Wu says, since you helped me earn big back then, why don't I help you find your master? Dog picks up the ball and throws it. The ball bounced around a lot and hit the dog in the head. And hit Wu in the head too. Wu thinks, what sort of torment does his owner go through every day? Dog bite Wu's pants. He thinks this is stupid, but I still have to find its master. But where? The dog starts to run. Everyone is surprised. Wu goes after the dog and says, is he looking for his master? Let me follow him. 3 minutes later, Central Park, we see a girl taking a selfie. Wu thinks, this babe, damn, she's at least a 9. He thinks, what are the odds of this babe being the dog's owner? A 100% appears above her head. He thinks, damn, its owner is actually such a pretty babe. I'm lucky. I only wanted to make some money from looking for its owner while testing out my skills. I didn't expect to get the chance to talk to such a beauty. She is still taking selfies. Wu sees her and thinks she's too chill. She's even in the mood to take selfies after losing her dog. She turns around and sees the dog. She says, you want a husky too? It looks just like my dog Oreo. Wu thinks it's yours. I don't think you're the sharpest tool in the shed. She says, even the barking sounds the same. But my Oreo is slightly cuter, and your husky looks a little dumb. My Oreo is much smarter. Our Oreo eats 500 tons of dog food. Its fur is in much better condition than your dog's too. Wu coughs to get her attention. He thinks this girl was actually born dumb. She asks, yes? He asks if I'm not wrong. This is your Oreo. She laughs and says, what a bad joke. My Oreo is securely leased on the bench. We see the broken lease. After that we see 5 minutes later. She said, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. He adds her to his friend list. He says, no problem. It's good that you found your dog. He thinks, it's my first time to befriend a beauty. I really made the right decision to come. He tells her, you husky is way too wild. It's like he's tearing down the entire house. I would have already been chased out by the landlord. But I'm in no position to criticize you. My rented room's look was replaced today. Now I have nowhere to go. She says, Why do you even rent a house? Isn't it better to have your own? I'm going off. He thinks, right? Now that I have this probability skill, why do I still think about paying rent? It's easy to buy a house once you're rich. How do I become rich and buy a house? I don't have enough, even if I pay in installments and make a deposit of 300K. This also isn't a common situation. I need to think of a quick way to make money. He appears in front of an antique store market. He thinks, antique collections. Everyone is selling really old stuff. All the shopkeepers surrounds him. One of the shopkeepers tells the other shopkeeper, this fella is definitely a novice. Look at his presentation. He looks brainless and lost. Phi thinks, their jerks definitely take me as a novice that can be easily conned. All these scammers. He gets to stall. The shopkeeper says, hey kid, these are antiques inherited from my ancestors. My surname's Li, and apparently an ancestor of mine is the poet Li Shiming. He says, boss, you don't have to bother me. I'm just looking around. Wu thinks, but no one can imagine that this novice here has golden fingers. I definitely won't be easily conned. Let me see. The odds of getting a real deal successfully is. He looks around the stuff. Wu thinks, does that mean these are real? It can't be. Something doesn't feel right. No. My understanding of antique collections must be wrong. Who knows what era these are from? Who knows they aren't valuable at all? I need to limit the success rate. What are the odds of getting something valued at 10K and above? How about getting something valued at 5K? Boss, how much is this? Shopkeeper says, young lad, you have sharp eyes. This item is my most valuable antique. Even Tsishi played with it back then, since we have a bond. 20K. He is really surprised. He thinks, what trash, its value isn't even guaranteed to be 200, and he still wants to con me. Shopkeeper says, hey little bro, don't go. Let me give you a discount. How about 10K? Wu thinks, damn street's full of scammers. Looks like I can't set the value of an antique collection too low. I will set 10K as the bottom limit. What are the chances of buying something worth 10K from this stall? 100%. He gets excited and thinks, the chances are also 100% for something worth 50K. I really came across a good deal. Shopkeeper gets excited and thinks, looks like I'll be teaching this novice his first lesson. Shopkeeper tell him, little bro, buying antiques is a test of your eyes. I'm a decent businessman. Unlike those con shops, scamming people at high prices. Look, this is a good item. Wu says, no, boss. Wu says, I want this. He sees something, with the value of 500K. Wu says, I'm not just any ordinary novice. With my probability skill, I can easily pick out valuable antiques and become a first-tier antique collector in the future. This is the beginning of my legend. Shopkeeper thinks, what the heck? This novice is too naive. Just because it looks old doesn't necessarily mean that it's an antique. Out of 10 bronzes, 9 are fake and the other is fresh out of the oven. How am I supposed to raise the price for such trash? Wu thinks, this fatty is definitely trying to seize the opportunity to raise the price. I shouldn't leak out such an eager expression. I've become too confident ever since I got my probability skill. Shopkeeper says, little buddy, you're really greedy. But let me tell you something first. First, take a look at this porcelain vase. Collecting antiques requires skills of affinity and good eyes. I see that you have great affinity, so I'll give you my honest opinion. Look at this vase. It's very well polished and bright. And look at the round finish at the base. It's pure handicraft. And listen to this sound, it's clear. It's just not expensive, just 50K. Once you resell it, you'll most likely make a fortune out of it. Wu thinks, how much is it actually worth? What's up with this fatty? Forget about finding out the price of the goblet. He's still trying to sell me some trashy vase. Wu smiles and thinks unless the boss himself doesn't know that he owns an item that's worth at least 500K. Wu tell him, boss, I also think that collecting antiques requires affinity. This porcelain vase is indeed decent, but I have no affinity with it. But I think this goblet looks pretty good. Shopkeeper says, little buddy, you're interested in the bronze goblet? You have great eyes. This is a treasure I dug out from my hometown, 8K. If you really want it, I'll sell it to you at its original price. No more and no less. How's it? Wu smiles and says, 8K. He thinks, comparing 500K, 8K is just peanuts. This fatty really doesn't seem to know the true value of the goblet. The likelihood of him knowing is 0% as I expect. With probability skills in my hands, your attempts at hiding your thoughts are futile. Let me think about how I can slash the price. Should I pretend to be a poor novice? Like I care about you trying to inflate the price. As long as I know the baseline of your offers, I'll be able to win the negotiation. First, let me use the probability skills to find out his baseline. What is the probability of buying this goblet at 4K? What the 100% for 4K? How about 2K? 100%. Then, what about 1K 80%? He thinks, forget it, I shouldn't be too greedy, 2K it shall be. Wu says to the shopkeeper boss, 8K is a little too high. Are you able to lower the price? Shopkeeper says, such a good item. 8K really isn't expensive. But, since you seem to have such a good affinity, name a price. Wu says, 2K. Shopkeeper thinks, goodness, this brat really gives no chances when slashing the price. Even if it is 2K, it still isn't easy to sell. Wu asks, how is it? If you don't want to sell it, then forget it. Shopkeeper says, 2K it shall be then. Actually, I spent 8K on 2 items. The other was sold to a beautiful lady yesterday. He gave him 2,000 yuan. Wu and the shopkeeper both think the same thing. I made a fortune. Shopkeeper says, I sold an item that was bought for a few bucks for 2K. I easily sold a bunch of trash at the price of an antique. A mere novice trying to collect antiques. This dummy, 2K is such a great deal. Yesterday, there was a lady who spent 9K on a wine pot. Today, another brat spent 2K on a goblet. The seller is still wittier than the buyer. Money just rolls in easily. Shopkeeper 2 says, what's there to flaunt? Isn't that the lady whom you scammed 9K out of yesterday? He says, she isn't possibly here to find trouble from you, right? Shopkeeper says, that's none of my business. The money and the goods are separate issues. A girl appears in front of the shopkeeper. He says, my shop's a small business. There's no refund once an item is sold. She says, it's gone? How come it's gone? He asks, what's gone? He says, where's the bronze goblet? I'll spend 10K, no, 50K to buy that goblet. Shopkeeper thinks, how much? He thinks, is that goblet really that valuable? How did that novice know? Why is this fatty stalling? Is he trying to raise the price? If that's not enough, I can go higher. What about 60,000? No? 70,000? 80,000? They are really surprised. She asks, hey shopkeeper, are you deaf or something? He says, oh, Lord, the scammer is now scammed. My 80,000 yuan. The other shopkeeper laughs and tells, Old Wong, this is the first time I am awed by a sales transaction. This is quite something. 80,000 yuan for a heap of trash you got for 300. Shopkeeper says, how about 100,000? She says without hesitation, deal. 100,000 it is. Shopkeeper falls on the ground. Other shopkeeper says, hey missy, let me tell you. Old Wong here has sold the goblet. Guess how much for? 2 sold tins of yuan in old trash for 2,000. She is surprised and asks, what? It's been sold? He says, hold on missy, I will get it back. After that we heard someone saying really loudly, 300,000. Bystanders talk to each other. This kid is too lucky. Old Man Li is offering 300,000 for a bronze goblet. The other shopkeeper asks, Old Wong, could the bronze goblet they are talking about be the one you had? She thinks, what a bother. This kid will suffer for getting in my way. Wu refuses the 300,000. Bystander talks, refusing a 300,000 yuan offer. You're committing daylight robbery. Old Man Li asks, what about 350,000? Shopkeeper threw up blood after hearing that. Old Man Li offers 400,000 and tells him I won't go any higher. Wu sighs and is about to put back the goblet in the box. Old Man grabs his arm and asks, don't be a hasty young man. Name your price. Wu tells him, you're an expert, old man, and I would like to be your friend. So what about 500,000? Old Man smiles and tells him kids are sure of something. All right, I'll be your friend. Shopkeeper looks like he is about to die because of the shock. Other shopkeeper tells him Old Wong is here too. I heard that this kid got this from around here. Whoever sold that to him, that guy must be gutted. Why the long face, Old Wong? Could it be? Wang says, nonsense, I've been doing this for so long. How could I sell it for such a low? The girl gets there and says, 550,000. I offer 550,000. Wu sees her and thinks, clear skin, pretty face, long legs, this Chiquita is the whole package. So she is the tsundere rich girl type. My goddess. Before this, I wouldn't even dare to take a peek. Of course, now with this probability at hand, picking up hot chicks is as easy as pie. She thinks, what is this creep staring at? Disgusting. If Grandpa wasn't an angry bellend and will only forgive me if I get this goblet, I wouldn't be here wasting my time. I have to get it at any cost. Wu thinks, so she also has a 100% probability of buying the goblet. Would she pay more? Let me think. Wu sees the shopkeeper and tells him, oh, shopkeeper, you came too. That goblet I got from you for 2,000 yuan is actually worth more than 550,000. All the other shopkeepers starts to laugh at him. She asks, 550,000. Are you taking it or not? Old man tells her, you're being unreasonable here, miss. After all, I made the first offer here. She replies to the old man, but mister, you two haven't sealed the deal yet. Old man thinks, pompous brat. Why does her attitude ring a bell? They both looks toward Wu. Wu tells them, I'm not the one buying. So why don't the two of you talk it over? She thinks, another crusty old dealer's ploy to hike up the price. Does he really think we are that stupid? Old man says, 560,000. She offers 570,000. After that, the old man offered 580,000. She offers 600,000. Old man is about to offer 700,000, but before that he asks her, you look familiar, miss. Who is that old codger D mean to you? She asks, he's my grandfather, and you are? Old man starts to laugh and tells her, what a small world. I am a friend of your grandfather. He must have sent you to get this goblet then. I am Li Weigua, a professor of history from the University of Hangzhou like your grandfather. She says, you must be the one my grandpa calls old friendly. He replies, yes. How is your grandfather doing, little Miss Li? They keep talking. Wu asks, so, are you two still buying this? She says, yes. She tells the old man, take care, old man La. If you want to have tea with Grandpa, I'll fetch you. He receives 600,000 in his account. He thinks it's a miscalculation, but I flipped it for 300 times its cost. I'm now a millionaire thanks to my Midas touch here. Why bother with those stupid novels? I have anime protagonist powers right now. He asks her to leave me your WeChat. Misty, since you look so interested in antiques, when I get something sweet, I'll give you a call. She sees him and thinks, what a disgusting laugh. What is wrong with him? Want to be a frog eating swan meat? He says, hey, girl. She gets angry and asks, what? Who is you, girl? She thinks, do you really think you are the son of luck? A kid who only knows how to speak highly. She says, it's as if you were older than me. He thinks, what is the probability that this girl is older than me? A 0% appears. He smiles and thinks, a woman who is so proud of herself is worthy of being my woman. But I have a success rate in my hand. I must tell you how good I am. He asks, what is the success rate of this Emperor Qingqing at 20? It's 100%. Then he thinks, this girl is 20, and I'm also 20. My birthday is on September 30th, isn't this girl? What's the situation? She must be younger than me, right? But why was she not born in the next 3 months? Could it be that she was born on the same day as me? It's 100%. She asks, hey, what the hell are you doing? He tell her to give him a minute. He thinks I was born at 3:23 in the afternoon. If she was younger than me, then should have been born from 7 to 12 in the evening, right? 0% appears. No? So was she born after 5 o'clock in the afternoon? Another 0% appears. What about at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? It is also 0%. 3:30 in the afternoon? It is also 0%. He thinks, finally figured it out, what a coincidence. It's only a minute away from me. Want to be the eldest sister and dapise me as a child? I really want to frustrate your spirit. She says, what a waste of time. He tells, Emperor girl, I am not yet saying it. He thinks, I will show you what the real God is. He tell her, you are 20 years old this year, and you were born at the end of September. Am I right? She is shocked and says, you? He tell her, are you wondering how I could know this? Of course it is calculated. She thinks. The complacency on this kid's face can't be covered. Want to talk about metaphysics? She says, what a joke. He thinks, I want to see how she would react when I said this. He tells her, let me do the math. You were born on the afternoon of September 30th, around 3:30. She is really surprised and asks, how come? Bystanders are also surprised and says, I really can't tell about real or fake. Hey, tell me, can this kid really tell a fortune? Look at this little girl's face. It's almost possible to hit. How could it be real? Everyone starts to call him a pervert. He thinks, am I that kind of pervert? Let me make you see the true ability. She was about to walk away. He says, hey, I'm not done yet. It's not 3:30, it's 3:24. You were born on the afternoon of September 30th, 3:24, and also 36 seconds. She calls her mom and asks, Mom, tell me, when was I born? Her mother says, it's maybe about 3:30 in the afternoon on September 30th. Ching Ching, don't you remember this? She says, no. To be more specific, Mom, let me ask you, am I born at 3:24 p.m.? Her mother says, wait, I can't remember this. Mom has kept your birth certificate in a safe place. 3 minutes later, her mother tells her, it's 3:24 and 36 seconds p.m. Ching Ching, why do you want to know about it? Hello? Are you listening? He says, oh, come on. If you want to know, just ask. I would be embarrassed if you stare at me like this. She says, I shouldn't be curious about wasting time with him. He says, hey, I was kidding. I just guessed it. She tell, you are accurate to the second and you still said you were just guessing? You treat me as stupid. She deserves to be a goddess-level beauty. She is gorgeous when she is angry. Okay, fine. Forget it. No kidding. Tell you the truth. I did the calculation. She asks, fortune teller? Serious? He says, hey, girl, not all fortune tellers are liars. Haven't you seen my method? He asks, if I'm right, you were wearing black today. She says, you. Shut up. He thinks, I don't seem to have heard her talk about her boyfriend yet. Am I right? 100%. She gets angry and says, what are you looking at? Don't get so close to me. He thinks, based on my instinct for so many years, this girl hates men and doesn't fall in love with men. 100% appears. He says, are you serious? Has she never been in love? Her hands start to shake and says, what did you just say? He says, what? Don't you understand what I said? She says, come here with me. She grabs him and run away. She says, say, how do you know so much about me? Wu says, I just raised my finger and counted. She says, nonsense. Wu asks, what? You don't believe it? Wu says, I also know that you have 3 moles on your body. Counting personality orientation is not easy, right? She says, you. He adds her as friend. Wu says, okay, if I have something good next time, I will contact you. And one more thing, you are also welcome to ask me for fortune-telling advice. He starts to walk and says, the success rate is really too much. Even people's secrets can be known. But I didn't expect that I would run into this pretty girl and use the success rate to see through it. Who is this old man calling? Did he hear that? What is the chance that Emperor Qingqing's secret will be discovered at home? He thinks, wait, what happened? What do you mean by this way the success rate is changing? Is she's secret already discovered, or not? That's right. I have a bold idea. Could it be that? Is this change because of my interaction with Di Qingqing? Oh no. Did Mr. Li contacted Di Qingqing's family and stab this matter? No, I didn't mean it. He messaged her, hey girl, for the sake of 600,000, I will give you another divination. Your secret cannot be hidden from the family. I am afraid it has been discovered now. She asks, by Wu, what do you mean? Di Qingqing's parents should contact Di Qingqing within half an hour, right? Shrinking a little. 15 minutes? 5 minutes? He tells her, I just calculated it again. Congratulations, your family will contact you in less than 5 minutes. She gets a call from her mom and says, Qingqing, you come back first. Mom and your dad have something to ask you. He says, looks like she's gotta explain it well, and sure enough, parents are always free to fall in love with the gold hoops on their heads. It's like when I left home alone and had a success rate in hand. Those are all other people's curses, brothers have long been different. It's a pity that I met a beautiful girl but can't tease. His mom calls him. He asks, Mom, why did you suddenly call? What's wrong? He screams and says, blind date? Mom, I'm only 20, and you let me go on a blind date? I won't go on a blind date. After that, at 8:15 in the evening, he is in a restaurant. He says, well, since all appointments have been made, it is better to come early for the sake of politeness as a gentleman. There are a lot of such imperial sisters, and you still need a blind date. She gets there with Ching Ching. He sees her and thinks, wait, isn't this Di Ching Ching? Why is she here? Could it be that? He thinks, would Mu's family arrange a blind date? It was also my reaction to breaking through the chain of Di Ching Ching. One wanted to break up, and the other wanted to stay. The plot was too bloody. She see Wu and get away from Ching Ching. Ching Ching is angry and has tears in her eyes. He thinks this girl's eyes were simply going to kill someone. Mu Yer comes to him and says, you are by Wu, right? I am Mu Yer. I think you are a very good man. Let's be together. Everyone in the restaurant is really surprised. He is also really shocked. She starts to cry and says, Sister Mu. He thinks this is too messy. Mu Yer says, what's your displeasure with me? He says, no, you are great everything. He thinks, oh my gosh, it just feels like a fairy jumping. She says, I mean seriously, not a joke. She hugs him. He thinks, isn't it the fairy jump? What now? What is this woman trying to do? She kisses Wu. Ching Ching feels alone. Mu says, let's go. He asks, where? She tells him, go to my house and see my parents. He thinks, Mu Yer was not happy at all. Although she was not a fairy jumping, she's just using me as a shield to make Ching give up. 100% appears. Although I have taken advantage of it, but at her mercy somehow, I always feel a little bit wrong. And if I had a success rate, how would I know that she is Ching Ching's secret? She doesn't say anything. Isn't that a lie? Mu asks, do you want to go? He thinks, is she really going to take me to see her parents? 100%. He thinks, seriously? Is she not just using me as a shield? Wait, does she really want to find a boyfriend? Seeing her parents. Does she want to find a boyfriend to coax her parents? He calls her name. She asks, what? You have taken all the advantages, and now, do you want to regret it? He gets angry and thinks, damn it, you are the one who makes the first move. This cheap is not what I want to take. She starts cry. He says, no, I'm not. He thinks, what the hell? I haven't promised to date her yet. Why have things come to be like this? What is this Mu Yer thinking? They reach her house. She says, Dad, Mom, I'm back. Her mother says, aren't you going to go on a blind date? The man's pigeon was released again? Mu says, Mom, this is my boyfriend by Wu. Wu says, hello, Annie. Wu is sweating like crazy. He thinks, I came here because I was so soft-hearted. I was pulled without a decision. How about acting with her now? Is this what they called a hero to save beauty? Her mother asks, Ear, do you have a boyfriend? Why don't you said it earlier? Her dad comes and says, what? Really? He thinks, how do you feel that this movement about a knife is coming? Dad says, this young man looks very energetic. Wu says, in fact, we had a relationship since we're in high school, but we broke up because of our studies. Unexpectedly, we're back together again. Her mother says, so that's the case. I'm just talking about how your grades slipped in your senior year. Her dad says, hey, what are you doing? Come in. The old lady will cook some good dishes for you tonight. He thinks, this is too enthusiastic. If I hadn't known in advance, I would have danced as a fairy. Dad says, you two sit down here for a while. I will go and get you some fruit. Dad leaves Wu and Mu alone in the room. They both laugh. Her mother comes into the room with some fruits. Dad told Mom, oh, my wife, what are you doing here? He says, you two don't have to worry, go on. You can continue. Wife, go and cook a perfect soup tonight. She says to Wu that, it's the first time that my parents saw me bring a boyfriend. Maybe they were a little excited. Wu says, okay. Wu thinks, what is this? During the first visit, did the woman's parents were so enthusiastic and proactive like this? Mom and Dad are listening to them through the door. Dad is angry and says, why is there no movement? This is a great opportunity. Why don't they just do it? Mom loudly asks, what? Aren't you afraid of that kid's lust? What if he does something to our ear? Dad says, be quiet. We can't let that child catch up. He got a kitchen knife in his hand and told her, believe it or not, you can rest assured. I have prepared it already. If that kid really dares. Wu thinks, I was confused and got involved in this kind of thing. So let's make it clear with her first. He walks toward her and says, we should. He gets back. He tells her don't get it wrong. I mean, let's sit down and talk. She says, sorry, I may still need some time to adjust to our relationship. He also gets back and says, oh yes, you're right, sorry. So if you're really nervous, should I stay away from you first? She says, thank you, but you don't need to. I can try to adapt. He thinks, what a 360-degree beauty without dead ends. It would be nice if she was my girlfriend. I'm going to hold her hand now. What is the chance that she won't be disgusted? Then what about hug her? 76%. Can I kiss her? 59%. Can I really do it? No. She just wants to find a fake boyfriend to deceive her parents. I am a good single young man. How can I do such a thing like this? This muddy water can't flow. So I have to let the girl face herself honestly. He falls. Her father comes running in the room. Ear, what is happening to you? Are you all right? She asks, Dad, what are you doing? Her mother says, nothing. You. Dad was surprised. Wu thinks, what is the situation? A kitchen knife? I didn't do anything. I was also pulled in somehow, and he rushed in with a knife for what? Wu says that it was close. He didn't believe that I was Mu Ear's boyfriend at all. Her mother says, you are crazy. If you care about her, just get in and ask, what are you doing with a kitchen knife? Dad says, I'm not afraid about that even though this kid looks good. But what if he has a guilty heart and starts to attack Wire? Our ear can't get ruined by him. Wu thinks pretending to be a boyfriend is so dangerous. I was almost taken care of by her parents. No one understands this feeling. Mu asks, hey, are you okay? He thinks, but in the final analysis, this is also a family affair. I don't want to play this role anymore. He tells her, Mu Iri, I think we should discuss this matter again. It's not too late anyway. Mu asks, do you still want to regret it? He asks her, do you think acting can hide from your parents forever? Of course, I don't want to act with you anymore. They do this because they care about you, but you just want to use my acting to deceive Thu. The only way to solve this problem is to communicate frankly with your parents. Mu says, can you help me? Just this time. He smiles. Her dad thinks, why does it sound like arguing? Mom says, did the little couple quarrel? It's all because of what you just did. Suspicious. Oh no. You are the one who frightened people with the knife. Young people like them will break up if they quarrel. No, we have to think of a way. I can't stay here anymore. It's not to help her, but to harm her more. Mom says, oh, hey, don't wear it. Auntie accidentally got your shoes wet while serving the soup. What? Mu asks, Mom, what did you just do? Why are his shoes wet? Her dad says, yes, why are you so careless? His shoes are wet now. How can he let him go home like this? Her mom asks, then why don't we let him stay here tonight? Wu thinks, I have made it clear with Mu Ear already, so the rest up to her. Her dad says, by Wu, you see. Why don't you stay at our house tonight? He thinks, well, I think I can't, because the niece of my 7th uncle's grandma's son is sick. So I have to go to the hospital to accompany the patient today. He says, I'll take my leave first. He is back home and thinks it's still the only way and a safe way to make money. Always make money, always cool. Hopefully tomorrow I will have good things. After that we see Old Wang the shopkeeper is whipping the items and says, yesterday, I was scammed by a rookie, and it make me lose a lot of money and also a shame too. He gets back and says, hey, do you have anything good? Old Wang says, of course, sir. Please take a look. Wu asks, Mr. Wang, how have you been? Have you gone to the countryside to collect some good artifacts today? Wang says, boy, what a coincidence you came at the right time. I want to collect so many artifacts all night. Would you like to come and see? He thinks, this time I have prepared a lot of good things for you as long as you buy it. I will make a profit. Wu thinks, Boss Wang, please show me some of your best products. Wang says, look at this. This is a good thing that was brought from a village. You know what? I spent up to 50,000 yuan just to buy this set of porcelain. I have already asked the villagers in that village, and they said that these things are all good things. I even heard that these things have been left since the end of the Sui dynasty. It even went through the glorious period of Wu Zetian. Wang says, so guess what these porcelain probably comes from? Wu says, from the Tang Sankai dynasty? Wang says, yes. If we look at their work and the glossy colors and other aspects, we know that these porcelain probably came from the Tang dynasty, because you are a regular customer. Wu says, these valuables, boss, how are you going to sell them? Wang tells, you say, boy, how much do you value it? Wu tells him 60. Boss Wang, you don't have to worry. I will pay 60 yuan for this porcelain set. Looking at this porcelain set, I think the one who made this porcelain set is really skilled. Even if you buy it in a porcelain factory, we still have a hard time finding such a beautiful pattern like this. Wang says, no boy, you made a mistake. Wu says, no boss, 60 yuan, it's too cheap. If I really spend 60 yuan to buy all these porcelain, I will no longer have a conscience. Wang says, damn, you scared me to death. Wu tells, do not worry, boss. I will not make you suffer anymore. Let me think about it first, and I give you a reasonable price. He thinks, is this porcelain set really from the Tang Sankai dynasty? There are 14.28% chances of a genuine product. He thinks, no need to look. I already know that they are fake. Wait, 14.28%? Among the 7 of them, which one is real? Is there a genuine antique in these 7 porcelains? If this is true, then it should be worth 10 million. He sees, there are 100% genuine products, 90% worth 10 millions. Wu asks, boss, you say, how much does this set cost? Wang says, it's done. Wang tells him, boy, I looked into your eyes and saw that you really enjoyed it. If you give me 600,000, this set of Tang Sankai will be yours. Wu asks, 600,000? If you think it is too expensive, I will give you a discount with only 500,000. Wu says, okay, no problem, I will transfer now. He transferred him 500,000 yuan. Wang is really surprised. Wang thinks, do not tell me that there may be real products in that porcelain set. No, 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 no. Impossible, impossible. I bought this piece of porcelain from a Tang Sancher painted hand workshop in that mountain village. Wang says, alas, young people nowadays are so proud to think they are the sons of luck like in the novel. Do you think you can really buy real Tang Sancher antiques at any small stall just like this? You are still too young. Selling him for 500,000, it is too easy to make this money. A rookie is still a rookie, losing 500,000 for nothing. A really good car appears. A girl gets down from the car and says, boss, where are the Tang Sansa artifacts that I sold to you last night? Now I want to buy it back. I will give you 1 million. He is really surprised and asks, what? 1 million? The girl tells the shopkeeper Wang that there is a piece of porcelain in that porcelain set, which is very important to my grandfather. It is not for sale. Can you sell it back to me? Please, I beg you. Wang looks like he is about to die and tells her 1 million. It's not that I do not want to sell it to you, but I just sold it to someone just now. The other shopkeeper tells her, well, I don't know what tricks that Lao Wang used to fool that boy, but that boy actually spent up to 500,000 yuan to buy it all. This time Boss Wang got a lot of benefits from the new product of the handcraft workshops. He comes to Wang, tells Wang that he is really jealous of him. He tells him, I don't know when I can meet such a fool like this. Wang laughs and says, if you want to deal with young people nowadays, you need to be a little persuasive with them. She tells, it's over. She starts to cry and thinks, because I do not know which one is real. I actually put that porcelain on the shelf. I'm dead today. It's all because of my IQ. He tells, although this porcelain is the proud work of your grandfather, it's still a fake one after all. So you just have to apologize to your grandfather, and it's over. Why do you have to worry about it so much? She tells him, who told you it was fake? In the porcelain set, there is a piece of Tang Sankai that has been left by my ancestors for generations. Many people want to buy it, and someone paid up to 10 million yuan just to buy it before. But my grandpa didn't even sell it. Wang is surprised and says, 10 million. Other shopkeeper says, you've been so amazing lately. Yesterday you just sold a bronze wine for 600,000 yuan, just for 2,000 yuan. And today you sold Tang Sansai's porcelain that is worth 10 million, just for 500,000 yuan. Girl says, hey boss, the guy you were talking about just bought the porcelain. Where did he go? He tells her where he went. After that, we see Wu is sitting in front of an old man who is checking the artifact the Wu brought. Old man tells him, the appearance is lively, and it's completely glazed. Good condition. He tells him that, the old man also has a camel like this in my house. It can be said that it is very much the same as yours. It is very rare to find this porcelain that has been around for thousands of years. But just now you said Wang sold it to you. I thought that it was my granddaughter who sold it to you in secret. Wu thinks, Tang Sankai has been left since the Tang dynasty for thousands of years. Exactly the same. Could this Tang Sankai belong to this old man? A 100% appears in front of him. He is really surprised. Old man asks, what's the matter, Mr. Bai? He says, no, nothing. I accidentally spilled water. Then he thinks, could this Tang Sankai be stolen by the fatty Wang? 0% appears in front of him. Then he thinks it's not him. So, was this old man's granddaughter the one who sold it to Wang? 100% appears in front of him. Wu thinks, why do you have such a wasteful granddaughter? Old man tells him, this Tang Sankai is estimated to be sold for 12 million at auction. If Mr. Bai doesn't mind, I would spend 9 million to buy your Tang Sankai. I wonder if you could agree? Wu thinks, 9 million is really a lot, and in fact the origin of this thing is his. Wu smiles and says, if this is what you want, then I agree. Old man brings out his visiting card and says, it's good. This is my business card. If you have any good items in the future, you can contact this old man at any time. Wu gets the card and says, okay, I will. Old man's granddaughter appears there. He tells, this girl is so anxious. It looks like she is about to fall. System says the little girl is about to fall 100%. Wu tells her, hey little sister, run slowly. Be careful not to fall. How can I fall down? You talk too much nonsense. She tells him, I know what I'm doing. You do not have to remind me. What a liar. He thinks, wait, this girl? Is she the granddaughter of Mr. Che? The one who sold the Tang Sankai? He thinks, what a coincidence. It really is her. She stumbles and falls. She falls on Wu. She thinks, what happened? What trick did this guy use? Why did I really fall? The bystanders thinks, the world is getting worse and worse now. Did they know that now is the broad daylight? And they are still in the mood to do it. She says, hey you, let go of me now. Wu says, what? It's you who need to let go of me. She steps back. Wu says, okay, if there is nothing left, I will leave first. She says, stop. He asks, what is it? I didn't do anything. It's you who jumped on me. She asks, lucky for you today. This girl has an urgent matter that needs to be dealt with, and I will leave my contact information to you first so I can deal with it. She thinks, big bro? I didn't expect to find myself a big brother. Wu thinks, now I have a lot of money, but what do I have to spend it on? Should I buy a car first or a house first? He gets in front of Wang. Wang asks, boy, have you sold that porcelain yet? How much do you sell it for? Wu tells him, yeah, I sold it to the owner of Gu Yunji Che for 9 million. Wang says, oh, that's great. Wu thinks this fat man is so kind that he is not surprised at all, even though he misses a large sum of money. Wang gives an evil smile and thinks, brat, you just wait and see. The girls see his grandfather with the artifact. She thinks, the deal is done. I'd better get out of here first. Her grandfather calls her and says, what are you doing over there? Come in here. Her grandfather asks, what made you visit your grandfather today? But you came at a very good time. Grandpa has a good thing to show you. She thinks, oh no, not only I'm one step late, but my grandfather had just bought it back. This is a very difficult situation for me. Her grandfather asks, what is wrong with you? You look so weird. She replies, no, nothing. He says, last time, you were really unusual. You sold my treasured porcelain for 10 yuan. He suddenly realizes and asks, is it? Wait a minute, do not tell me, you. She starts to run and tells him, Grandpa, I think I'm sick and need to go to the hospital now. Bye. He calls her Che. She calls her grandma and asks for help. Her grandma yells at her grandpa saying, old man, what are you yelling at? Did you know that it scares my lovely granddaughter? You are this old, and yet you are still angry with the children. She starts to run away and thinks, I did not expect this to happen so fast. If I knew this was going to happen, then I will have rushed to buy it before Grandpa found out. The one who just came out of Gu Yun Pavilion. Was it the guy who said I fell? Is his eyesight this good? Wu suddenly feels something and thinks, I always feel that a fat man is suddenly so weird. Is he planning to do something to me? System tells him 100%. Wu tells, damn. System, you are very ambiguous when you say that. He thinks, do something for me. Does that mean he is going to find someone to handle me? Or he still continues to collect the broken pieces to put me? System says, pit you 100%. Wu smiles and thinks, now I have a success rate in hand. How can I still be pitted? However, it still depends on luck to pick up the leaks, even though I have superpower, but there may not be any leaks in the antique street. Today, if it wasn't for the Che Xiaoxiao's recklessness, I will not be able to make millions in vain. The sale of antiques by mistake for 200 yuan is too shameful. The world of rich people is really hard to understand. Okay, it's not right. The girls I met recently were all so weird, and now I got involved with Che Xiaoxiao too. I still wonder what would happen if I didn't mess with them. Wait a minute, I have a bold idea. System tells him, leaks in the antique market 100%. Sure enough, I can guess in advance. Looks like it's time for me to make more money. Does this not deserve to be the blessing of the god of wealth? Men should have a good car, right? If so, then, should I find a free day and go to the car dealership? Why is she here too? She creates a post saying, asking for advice from all of you, how to apologize to you grandfather in a good way. Too bad today. Selling the wrong thing upset Grandpa, and now my car is still there, but I don't care to go and drive it back. Wu thinks this girl is too stupid. He sees her, and there is suspicious-looking man behind her. He thinks, is he a thief? System says, 50%. He thinks, could it be? System says, a pervert 100%. He texts her, girl, the guy in the black trench coat next to you does not look like a good person. You should be careful. She reads the message and thinks, why is he here? And does it kill him if he just opens his mouth and speaks? She replies, so it's your crow's mouth again. He messaged her, okay, fine. I just wanted to help you, but you keep saying these words to me. You just wait and see. Next time, if I know something is going to happen, I will not tell you again. Route 666 to the north of the city. Please hurry up. We'll be leaving soon. Suspicious man bumps into her and says, oh, I am sorry. It's because of the crowds. I had no intention of doing it. She says, okay. Wu thinks, damn. This girl doesn't take it seriously. He is about to touch her. Wu thinks, oh no. He is starting to do it. Is this girl crazy? Why does she not care about it? He says, hey, you. She hits him with her elbow and grabs his arm. She kicks him in balls. Wu is surprised. She throws him on the ground. Bystander says, what is going on? What just happened? She says he touched me on purpose. Wu thinks, alas, the size of this girl is inversely proportional to her skill. Could it be that she is a martial art fighter? She thinks, why did this crow's mouth hit it again? Is it more accurate than me to see people and things? It's weird. It's over. If this strong girl knew I had bought that Tang Sankai, would she finish me off? Quickly, I have to get away from this girl as soon as possible. It should only take a few minutes to get to the car dealership, right? A 0% appears. He is really surprised and scared. He thinks, what's the situation? The bus can't arrive in such a few minutes? What's going to happen again? As he is about to get on the bus, today is unlucky. Is it a traffic jam? Or a traffic accident? System tells, traffic jam 0%, traffic accident 0%. He thinks, not both? How come there is a bad feeling? Is there a gangster on this bus? And what does he want to do? Gangsters set fire 100%. The gangster is now in the bus 100%. Wu thinks, what should I do? The gangster is now on the bus. No, not good. I have to hurry and call the police if someone wants to set fire. If the gangster succeeds, wouldn't this bus be over? I cannot let this happen. I must stop it. He thinks time is urgent. Call the police. He calls and says, hello? I want to call the police. Someone wants to set fire on the bus. They ask for a location. He tells them bus 666 has just arrived at the antique market station. The next stop is the automated commercial city. There are so many people in that bus, and the gangster is in it too. They tell all right, we will send our people there immediately. Wu replies, yes, please hurry. The gangster carried 8 or 9 liters of gasoline, and arson might cause casualties. They ask him, sir, how do you know this is going to happen? Do you have any proof? He thinks it's over. Just take care of it and calculate the success rate. They tell him, you are Mr. Bai Wu, right? How did you know that there was a gangster on the bus who wanted to set fire? How can you prove that the gangster carried 8 or 9 liters of gasoline on the bus? And how did you know that he would set fire between the 2 stations? Wu gets really frustrated and thinks, I really have no proof. But it can be said that I have superpower. Someone has to believe it. Door of the bus is about to close. He thinks, damn, it's too late. Although the police are out, however, I still have to find the gangster first. Che Xiaoxiao also gets on the bus. He sees her and thinks, why did she get in the car too? Please don't think about making trouble for me. Now, life is at stake. He thinks of her beating the guy from before and thinks, no, it's not good to be stared at by this girl. Have to quickly find the gangster, and then slip away. Police call Wu and tell him, Mr. Bai Wu, we have already contacted the nearest police officer, and we would pay close attention to you and the situation inside the bus too. If you really confirm that there is a gangster inside the bus, then for your safety, please do not act rashly. He gets happy and thinks, does that mean there is a police inside this bus too? He looks toward Che and gets scared. He thinks, but the police officer does not know who the gangster is, so how can he subdue the gangster? I have to think of a way. The gangster should be sitting, right? He starts to move toward the front of the bus. Che Xiaoxiao is following him. He thinks, come on, stop following me. I'm looking for a gangster. 8 or 9 liters of gasoline is not a joke. 8 or 9 liters of gasoline is not easy to bring into the car. He will probably put that gasoline in bottles, drinks, or other things, and he must be carrying a bag. He sees toward a middle-aged man with a bag and thinks, it's him. He puts his hand in the bag. Wu thinks, oh no, not good. Because I was so aggressive that he found something was wrong. He must be preparing to do it in advance. That is it. What should I do to lower his suspicion? Or should I rush to stop it? Che Xiaoxiao grabs him and asks, Bai Wu, why are you trying to hide from me? He thinks, I'm sorry, Xiaoxiao. The police officer should be paying close attention to me. He shouts and says, yo, isn't this Gorilla Girl? I really didn't think you were a violent girl at the bus stop. He says, stop following me. I am a pure boy. He thinks the situation is urgent. I have to use Xiaoxiao to get his attention and then look for opportunities to make a move. It can also remind the police office too. Man looks the other way. Wu thinks, there you go. She gets really angry and asks him, why didn't you run away? He sit on a seat in front of the middle-aged man. He says, no, it's all a misunderstanding. He opens the bag, and the bottle of gasoline falls out. That man gets really angry and says, what are you doing? Wu gets scared and says, God damn, police officer saved me. Xiaoxiao punches in the face. Wu is surprised. She beats the gangster really easily. Wu says, terrible. She brings out handcuffs. She tells, the police have already solved the case. You have been arrested. She says, it's really gasoline. He thinks Cha Xiaoxiao is actually a police officer. She thinks all done. Wu tires to sneak away. She says, Bai Wu? I heard you were the one who reported this. Explain how you know. Wu thinks this girl is so troublesome. Always keep chasing me and don't let go of me. One thing has been solved, but now another thing has come. I have to think of a solution first. Wu tells, if I tell you, you must keep it a secret. In fact, the mountain people can pinch it. What? You don't believe it? Then just think about the past. She thinks, speaking of which, this guy is a bit of a crow's mouth. He thinks it's over. Really can't talk nonsense. Rice can't be eaten indiscriminately. I can't fool you. I need to find a way out immediately. She punches the wall behind and tell him to stop joking around here. She asks, how did you know? Say. He gets really scared and asks, what do you want me to say? She tells him, says, how do you know there is a gangster on the bus and intends to set fire? He asks, why should I? It's just a coincidence, and it's my duty to help keep society peaceful. She says, no coffin. no tears. She grabs him and says, "Do not forget that you are not inside the bus yet when you call the police, and you have not met a gangster yet, but still, you already know that he carries 8 to 9 liters of gasoline?" He says, "I just guessed." She says, "Are all people guessing in these details? It looks like we have to go somewhere else and have tea and chat." He thinks, have tea. This girl is trying to kidnap me. This time something bad will happen. Mu thinks, by Wu, what are you doing? Wu says to her, why are you here? Xiao Xiao asks, do you guys know each other? Mu says, excuse me. My car broke down and I sent it to a 45 shop for repair. She asks, by Wu, what's the matter with you? Wu thinks, even though I know you are the elder sister, in this scene the sound is too loud, like rape. Wait a minute. It may be an opportunity. He jumps toward her and says, honey, it's not like what you think. I have nothing to do with her at all. Bystanders ask, what's the situation? He tells her that this girl is the one who tormented me. Wu points towards Xiao Xiao and tells her, hey you, we never knew each other, and I love my girlfriend very much. Stop bothering me anymore, okay? Xiao Xiao says, no, I am not. Bystander says, is this a cheating scene? So interesting. I think it was the man who brought the short-haired girl to buy a car, and then he was caught by his girlfriend. Hey, what is the matter between those two? Are these two beautiful girls fighting for that man? Xiao Xiao says, who entangled you? Wu says, you just saw it too, right? She stopped me from leaving. Mu says, he is my boyfriend. Please stop bothering him. Bystanders are eating and watching the show. He thinks everything is done, but why did she not leave? Xiao Xiao gets really angry and says, by Wu. She hits him in stomach. Xiao Xiao tells me that I have no interest in him, but I advise you to be careful. Your boyfriend may not be a good person. She asks, by Wu, are you okay? He tells her, yeah, it hurt a little, but finally get rid of this trouble temporarily. Thank you very much for your help. She says, you also helped me, considering it my apology for involving you last time. The red-haired girl gets there and thinks, by Wu, you still dare to pester Mu. I will never let you go this time. After that we see the next day. He buys a good-looking car and thinks, children have long love, but heroes are short of breath. If I get entangled with those eldest ladies again, I won't do anything. In the future I will avoid them, avoid all problems, and then I will make money peacefully. My life must be meaningful. All I want now is money. He reaches an antique market. He thinks, yesterday I had a big leak. Let's see what I can get today. Hope it's the same as yesterday. He looks for Wong and finds out that he is not there. The other shopkeeper tells her, yes, yesterday. He said he wanna bought some good things in the countryside, and he will be back soon. Does that mean I can't buy treasure from him today? It doesn't matter. I can still go shopping for treasure at other stalls, right? A 0% appears. He is surprised and thinks, 0%, what do you mean? You mean I can't find a treasure today? System says, can't find treasure 100%. Wu thinks, why is it different from what you said yesterday? It turns out that there is treasure, but I can't get it? He says, well, who cares about that? Let's go and find it. 30 minutes later, he sees a 100% genuine treasure. He asks, how do you sell this? Shopkeeper says, 3,000. But if you really want it, I can give you a 5% discount. Wu asks, only 5% off? What about 50%? Shopkeeper says, okay, 50% off. Deal. Wu says, all right, 50% off is 50%. Whatever, I admit it. He thinks it seems that the boss has no idea that this product is real. Wu thinks, look, I am going to buy it now. How does the system fail? Red-haired girl gets there and says, sell it to me. I want it for the original price of 3,000. He thinks, is she again? Shopkeeper says, deal. Wu says, boss, I'm the first to come. Okay, let's talk about it first, all right? You know what? I will pay you 10,000. She says, 30,000. He thinks, this girl did it on purpose. Now the stall owner has guessed that this copper stove is very expensive and it won't be easy to sell. Wu says, I give out 50,000. If you value it more than this one, then this rubbish is yours. She says, okay, 100,000. How is it? Wu thinks, damn, I cannot fool this girl. Will she continue to raise prices? She thinks, Want to act out to tease me? What if I just bought a piece of garbage? Wu says, okay, you win. He thinks, this girl made an auction without looking at it. It's clearly that she did it on purpose, but I am not that stupid to continue to increase the price and fight her. Continuing to increase the price is just waste of money, let alone the success rate. Shut up. She buys the treasure and checks it. She thinks it really looks like a genuine product from the Ming Dynasty. This Bai Wu is really something. She starts to follow him. He asks her, why are you following me? She says, what? This road is not yours. He gets to another shop and tries to buy another treasure. He offers 100,000, but she offers 200,000. To repeat the process. She keeps buying everything that Wu tries to buy. Wu asks, you did it on purpose, don't you? She replies, so what? Who says I can't do that? Of course, you can also increase the price or choose a fake one. But I have a lot of money, so I don't care about it. He says, okay. She says, your name is Bai Wu, and you are 20 years old this year. You are from Tongqing with a normal family background, and you are currently suspended from school. He tells her, but yesterday, I bought a top-matched off-road vehicle. She says, don't you think it's a bit too sudden? He asks, you investigate me. Actually, I was lucky to get this leak. I made money legally and I did not commit any crime. She says, okay, it's legal, but didn't you say last time that you can calculate it? Is it counted as a leak too? Great. But according to my investigation, you were very ordinary for the first 20 years. You have nothing. I do not know what horrible tricks you have used, but do you think you can reach the top of your life by illusion? Poor loser. I do not care how you do it, but I can guarantee that from today onwards your bright future will be in my hands. No need to find a way. You can't do anything about it. Wu thinks you. What should I do now? This is the end. Subscribe for more.